Hey there, aspiring guitarists. This is our chord progression of the week, part one. And we're doing, whoop, it just fell. We're doing E, A, and B. Now, I know that sounds crazy, and we're going to break this into two parts, and here's the reason. I'm going to show you, we're going to add some rhythm. We're going to talk about doing some rock and roll rhythm, some chord progressions. But we've really got to get back to our musical alphabet. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a link to another video that I put out that got clicked a lot. And it is the one thing that I will stop teaching a guitar student over. And you don't have to watch it, but it's a good video because I explain. But I'll tell you what that is: failure to learn the musical alphabet. If I have a guitar student that won't do that won't learn that the musical alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, repeat, and then we take it further and learn the steps, half steps, frets, half steps, whole steps, those basic things. I'm not trying to cram music theory down their throat. My video goes in, but if you don't learn those things, and I don't mean this in a mean way, I'm done with you, because there's just too much that relates to that. That doesn't mean you don't get into scales. It don't mean you get into all the other things. You know, what I just pulled up was the circle of fifths. I've got a video on that too. Remember our chord wheel book, that shows you, and there's our E right there, and there's the A, and there's the B. So these are very basic things that will help your guitar journey and shows why it is so important to learn chords. So before we get to how I'm going to finger this chord and leave this, and that we're going to use a bar chord, and we're going to wind up doing. But that's down the road. We'll get to the rhythm and all the different things. You don't even have to remember that rhythm pattern. When we're done with part two, you'll be experimenting with rhythms all over the place. And that's really what you should be doing. Chords are made to fiddle with. They're made to understand the notes. I have videos on chords. So here's what I want you to plant in your brain. Let me get this off so I can hold this up. You have to pardon the hair. This is my summer basic training haircut. But anyway, here's our guitar neck. Okay? Here's our guitar neck. Here's the strings: E, B, G, D, A, E. Now let me bring that home for you because it's going to matter. This is one of my pulled off necks that I put the notes on. So let's just put this up here beside it. Okay. Let me get over here where you can see, and let's turn it the correct way. That's the problem you get in with this. Okay. This is how this should look. I want you to get an idea of what's going on here. I realize it doesn't go into focus all, and I don't have some giant professional, photo crew, but this is as if you were looking at the guitar that way. So here's the headstock. So let's talk about this. So here's the headstock would be here. The body of the guitar would be down here. In other words, like this is showing the these are frets up here. Do you see this? 19, 17, 15, 12. You're working your way back to the headstock. There's 9, there's 7, there's 5, there's 3. the dots you have on the guitar. So when we do this E, A, B, we're going to use the top string, which is down here on the bottom of the chart, just like it is on tablature. And we're going to go from a major open E chord, and then we're going to slide down to the 5th fret. Watch me, I'm going to do it here. So we're going to come to the 5th fret, and then we're going to slide to the 7th fret. So we're going to go from an open E, and I'm even going to use notes. We're going to pluck the top string. We're going to pluck the top string again on the 5th fret, and we're going to pluck the top string again on the 7th fret. And by doing that, when we pluck open, we're going to get an E. When we pluck the 5th fret, we're going to get an A. When we pluck the 7th fret, we're going to get a B. But we're going to also make that E chord, and then we're going to slide a bar chord down here, slide a bar chord down here, and the bar chord is going to be easier because it's easier to press down here away from the nut. The nut has the most tension on the strings. And then we're going to bind all this together and get some good old rock and roll rhythm. And we're going to go back again. I'm going to show you why learning the musical alphabet is important. Then you're going to be able to play some rock and roll. When somebody tells you it's in the key of something, you'll know what chords are coming, and you'll know how to take one shape and slide that puppy all up and down the neck to play one type of chord voicing. Now, there's lots of other rhythm guitar you can do. There's everything from power chords to jazz type chords to everything else, and that's the beauty of the guitar. There's so much to learn. Don't get caught up trying to master the guitar. Get caught up in the joy and the beauty of playing the guitar. But you're going to like this to come. So I want you to think in your brain before we get to part 2 about an open string, the 5th fret, and the 7th fret. Let me turn this. An open string, the 5th fret, and the 7th fret. Okay, because that's how we're going to slide this. We're going to make a open chord E, except we're not going to start it with the first finger. We're going to start it with 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to slide down to a bar chord, slide down to another bar chord, and then I'm going to save and show you how to do some fast riff changes and chord changes to really make a rock and roll progression that I think you'll like. Get that in your brain. It is okay. It is perfectly okay to combine fret numbers and notes. For instance, E, and then when you come down here, there's the A on the 5th, and there's the B on the 7th. A on the 5th, B on the 7th, open string E. But it is fine to go E, A, B, open, 5th fret, 7th fret. Do things that help you memorize. Write it out. Go ahead before we go to part 2 and write out. Open, 5, 7. And write frets beside open and 5 and 7. Get in your brain whatever it helps you to memorize and learn things. And then take it a step further. Open, 5, 7. E, A, B. Same thing. E, open, 5, A, 7, B. We're going to have a good lesson. Hey, I hope your guitar journey is wonderful. And most of all, happy picking. Remember, part 2 is coming.